Hello, welcome to Paint with Faith. My name is Ida Mae. Can everyone say hi, Ida Mae? Thank you for joining me today. Paint with Faith is a motivational mobile paint company, and we specialize in motivating you through the arts. Today we're going to have the opportunity to paint with acrylic paint. We will be painting a picture of an alligator. If you know anything about me, I love to paint things in nature. Painting things that come from nature is a great way for me to connect with my surrounding. I really enjoy being outdoors, and I also enjoy painting in plain air and exploring different things about animals as I learn about their nature through the arts. So, I believe that you can paint this picture of an alligator with me, and I want you to repeat after me. Say, if I believe, I can achieve. Say it again. If I believe, I can achieve. All right. I believe in you. Remember, there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. So, let's check our supplies. First, we're going to check to see if we have our canvas. This is a canvas, not a canvas. And we're going to check for water, a brush, paint, and a paint rag. The colors I'm going to be using today are white, yellow, orange, green, and blue. If you don't have orange, you can mix red and yellow. Red and yellow make orange. So let's get started. I'm going to orient my canvas. This is called landscape. Landscape is when you have the long side of your canvas and the short sides of your canvas on the side. If you orient your canvas this way, this is called portrait. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start off with a sunset. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint with blue paint in the middle of our canvas. Let's mix blue with a little bit of white. Blue, white, this makes a light blue. We're going to start with our water. Going right through the middle of your canvas, you're going to make a long wave. This wave will set the horizon. Let's make 3 dots so that we can establish the horizon of our painting. 1, 2, 3. Now let's connect them with the wavy line. Okay. Now we're going to paint our water blue all the way down. We're going to keep painting until we reach the bottom of our canvas. Okay. I think it's so interesting that water appears blue and the sky appears blue. If you look at the water that's blue and you look at the sky that's also blue, which one is blue? Well, most people know that a lot of water is clear, and it's blue because it's reflective, and it's reflecting the color of the sky. But it also can be very, very murky, leaving it the color brown and even green. Okay, we're going to take this all the way down to the bottom. At the very bottom, you can add the darker color of blue. And when I say darker, I really just mean the blue without anything mixed into it. How are you doing? I love to paint landscapes and water in the sky. It's very relaxing. Okay. How are you coming with your water? Okay. When you're painting, you can drag your brush from edge to edge. This will help give you a smooth, continuous finish. And it also helps blend in all your colors. Okay. Are you almost finished painting your water? Let's see. While we paint, let's think of all the things that live under the water. There are lots of things that live in water that aren't fish. Can you name something that lives in water that isn't a fish? Did someone say turtles? That's right. What about frogs? What about, hmm, I have to think really hard about that one. That's a hard one. I thought of two. I keep thinking of some things like whales and sharks, but I guess those are considered fish. If I think of something else, I'll shout it out. A seal? Yeah, did someone say seal? Yeah, seal. That's a good guess. Okay. So our next step is we're going to paint in the sun setting. So let's make a pale yellow. We're going to take white and yellow to make a very bright colored yellow. White and yellow. This will be the color of our sun. Before you mix your paint, your white and yellow paint, be sure to clean out your brush. Cleaning out your brush would include dipping your brush in the water, rinsing really well, and using your paint rag to pull out the paint or the water. When you have a clean and dry brush, that's a good time to go ahead and mix white and yellow paint. On the center of your canvas, create a large arc or half of a circle. This will be your setting sun. Be sure to trace the waves. Let's bring the setting sun up a little bit higher. We're going to be painting our alligator right in our setting sun. So we want to leave enough room to paint the gator. So we want to give it a large, large arc. Okay. Outside of our big yellow setting sun, we're going to paint the sky. The sky is going to be the pale color of orange. So if you don't have orange, mix red, a bit of yellow, until you get orange. Red and yellow gives you orange. Once you get orange, let's add a little bit of white. That will give you a pale orange color. Let's start by outlining the sun with our pale orange color. Okie dokie. Now let's fill in all the remaining area with our beautiful orange color. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Remember, all we want to do is relax and enjoy the painting process. If you start to feel negative thoughts, just snap your fingers like this and snap out the negativity. I know you can do it. You're doing a great job. Your painting looks great. You know, the really cool thing about sunsets is that they're different every day. And because they're different every day, there are a million variations of sunsets. And that is so awesome. You'll never see the same sunset twice. Okay. Now I'm going to finish painting my bright orange on this side. Just try to go ahead and fill in any white space you have left over there with your orange and white paint. Before we move on, let's use a little bit more white paint on the bottom half of our skyline. So while it's wet, I'm going to apply a little bit of light, a tint of orange by adding a little bit of white to my light orange. And I'm going to add it right on top while it's wet and blend it in. This is going to give me a slight brightness that's brighter, closer to the water and darker up top. So I'm just going to add a little bit of brighter orange closer to the water by just mixing in a little bit of white paint. Just like that. And I think we're ready to paint our alligator. We're going to wait for our friends to finish. And I'm going to rinse my brush. To rinse my brush, I'm just going to push my brush down into the bottom of my water cup and roll the brush off the edge of the glass. And then I'm going to pinch my brush to make sure it's nice and dry. Okie dokie. So now my next step is going to be to paint my alligator. So I'm going to use green mixed with a little bit of yellow. we're going to add a little yellow to our green. You can also add a little bit of white if you have it. A little yellow and a little white until it's nice and bright. Okay, let's paint a little alligator sitting in the water. So we're going to replicate this shape over here. So we're going to come outside of the sun on top of the water about there. And you can make a little dot. And then we're also going to put a dot on the center of the sun. Right there. Right at the waterline. And let's connect it with an arc. Here we go. A shallow arc. That's going to be the back of our alligator. And let's follow the wave. Okay. Now let's give our alligator an eye. The alligator's eye is going to be a similar arc, and it's going to go from here to here. I'm going to scoot you up a little closer so you can see all the details. This is the alligator's eye. We're going to follow the wave. Okay. Next up, we're going to paint the alligator's nose. Where do you think his nose would be? How about right here in the water? Let's paint the alligator's nose right there. And let's connect the back, the eye, and the nose with one straight line. Let's see. Not one straight line, but with straight lines. There's one. And here's the second. Okay. Now let's just follow our wave in our water to make sure we keep our wave. And make sure we keep our nice round eye, straight back, and round nose. Just like that. All right, look at that alligator in the water. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is let's paint the alligator's body submerged under the water. Okay, to do that, we're going to take some green paint. I'm going to use a fresh little area right here. Green paint, and we're going to use blue. I'm getting a really dark blue or dark turquoisey green. Like that color. With our dark green or our green added blue, we're going to paint under our water. Okay? The first thing we're going to do is let's paint the wave. The wave line. We're going to leave this beautiful light blue wave that we started with. So we're going to create two dots, one dot here and one dot under the nose. And we're going to leave a light blue area between there. And we're going to create a nice wave. And leave a little bit of light blue under there. Okay? Now we're going to paint in the body of our alligator. So, our alligator has a tail. We're going to bring our paintbrush down and around from that circle right here. So we're just going to create the letter C. Down and around. Just like that. Down and around. We're going to make kind of a fat tail. So the tail is going to kind of come here. So what we're going to do to make our tail is we're going to come down and around. And I'm going to make my tail curve out a little bit. And see how it's kind of pointing down? Like that. And we can fill that area in with our blue and green paint. And that is our tail. What else should we give? What other parts does an alligator have, and what else should we do to our alligator? I think our alligator needs arms and legs. So let's start off by giving our alligator some legs. So the legs are going to come out. We're going to draw 2 ovals. An oval here, right under this circle. And we're going to draw an oval here under the alligator's neck. So under that straight line. An oval there and an oval there. This oval will be for the back leg, and this oval will be for the front leg. And we can go ahead and paint those 2 shapes in. I'm looking for my black paint. I see some right there. Okay. We're going to take a little bit of black paint. This black paint is called Pavement. I don't know if you can see that. I like this color for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because it's not super black, but it has like a little gray tint to it. But it still acts like black. So I'm going to mix my black paint with a little bit of green. I'm running out of space. Oh no. So I'm going to mix my black paint with a little bit of green. Mixing black and green can be a little scary. It's going to give you a really dark color. But try to mix more green than black. If your black and green is too dark, add more green. Can you tell me what it's called when you mix any color with black? It's called a shade. Okay. So now I'm going to rehash where we are in our painting. So we have a long tail that comes down in the letter C. We have this back leg that's a large oval. And we have this front arm that's a smaller oval. Or it looks like it could be the same size. Now we're going to paint the mouth of our gator under the water using green with a little bit of black. So we're going to create, ooh, I think I needed it to be a little bit darker than that. That's a little better. So this is the underjaw of my gator. Now I'm going to create the under leg of my gator, connecting it to the jaw and wrapping that leg around, that arm around. And I'm going to do the same thing and wrap that leg around the back part. So now you have the jaw, this leg, the back leg, and we're going to connect all of that right here. Okay. I'm going to lighten up my dark green just a little bit because I think I made it a little darker than I wanted it. We're going to go back in with black paint to create a few contour lines to define the shape. But this is perfect. So you should have 3 little bumps under the water. This big bump for the mouth, and this big bump for the arm, and this big bump for the leg. And they should all be a little bit darker. So now we're going to use our clean paintbrush and we're going to draw some shapes with our black paint. The first shape we're going to draw is a triangle on the back side of our alligator. These triangles can come out the water too. So your triangles can be small and just make sure that they're attached to the back side of your alligator. and bring them under the water. You're doing so great. I love breaking down most things into basic shapes that everybody can draw. This is a really common formula that a lot of artists use. The basic shapes include squares, rectangles, circles, triangles, ovals, and it also can include different types of lines. I'm going to continue this black right here. I'm going to mix my black with a little bit of white to create a light gray. This light gray would be perfect for to paint the triangles in the sun because they would be a little bit brighter. This is such a fun painting. I'm learning so much as I paint this fun painting with you all. And I'm getting inspired more and more as I paint. Looks great. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I have a little bit of gray paint in there. And I'm going to paint two arcs. One arc is going to be under this circle for the eye, and another arc for the nose. Now, each arc I'll put a black dot under it. One small for the nose and one small for the eye. The area that's closest to the top of the eye, I'm going to put a dark circle in that area. My gator's looking at you. You can also do the same here. The area that's closest to the top, put a little black dot in that area. Let's give our alligator a sweet smile with our black paint. So we're going to come from here just like that. Now with our black paint, we can also give our alligator a big belly. Let's paint in the leg first. For the leg, we're going to create a backwards L. Come down and shoot back. He'll come down and shoot back. Now to the right, create a straight line for the belly. Let's do the same for the arm. We're going to create a curved line and bring it back. I'm going to create one line that goes from the belly to the inside of the arm. This gives the illusion that the arm is kind of tucked under the stomach. Let me show you those lines again. This line comes down and it comes around the bottom. This line comes down and it comes around the bottom. There's a line in the middle for the belly and it shoots to the inside of this shape. You can create a similar line for the back leg. You know, it reminds me of a backwards letter G. If you come down, in this way. Down, in this way. Kind of looks like two G's. Okay, finally, we're going to paint birds that are sitting on our alligator's back. Let's paint. You can paint blue birds or black birds. It's up to you. That is your creative freedom. I'm going to create almost blue with a little bit of white. Basically the same color as my water. So we're going to paint one bird on this flat area and one bird in this area. So we're going to start with an oval. And an oval here. This bird is going to be looking up this way, so I'm going to give it a small head on top of the oval. Oval with a tiny small circle on it. This bird is going to be eating something off the back of this alligator. Maybe it's a barnacle or something. So I'm going to give it a small circle at the bottom. You can have it going up and looking that way if you want. It's up to you. Now we're going to get our black paint. Be sure that when you rinse your brush, you pull all the water out to get a nice tip. We're going to dip our paintbrush in a tiny bit of black paint so that we can control our application. Let's bring one line down with black paint for one of the legs. And this line is going to be bent, but you can make it straight if you like. Let's try with this leg. I'm going to try two legs straight down with my black paint. Now, let's give each bird a little tiny black beak. with the tiny triangle. This black beak is going to be pointed down. I'm going to use a little bit more blue paint to create a little tail. I forgot about the tail. The tail is a tiny little triangle. I would say start from the backside and pull it in towards the bird. Just like that. I think I want to add one more bird. What do you think? Yeah? Let's add one more bird. Just one more. So to create a bird, I'm going to start with an oval. And I'm going to have these two birds like they're talking to each other. So I'm going to put the head on top of that little oval. And for the tail, I'm going to start out here and pull it in towards the bird. So I'm going to start out here with a tiny little stroke, and I'm going to bring it in. Fatten up that body just a little bit. And I'm ready for my legs. For the legs, I'm going to take a little bit of black paint, 2 lines straight down, triangle beak, and that is my bird. I love that addition of a bird. You can take this end of your brush, dip it in a little bit of white paint, and give your alligator one little sparkle in his eye. While we wait on our friends to finish our painting, let's use some pale yellow by mixing yellow and white, and we can put a few little spots on our alligator's back. These are just the little fun details that help your painting to stand out and be very unique. These little freckles would also look good if they were a really light green. I like the pale yellow because I thought it would look nice to complement the sun that's also yellow. But it's the only yellow thing in the composition, so it's kind of nice to match up some colors here and there. Okay. So what is your painting missing? Who can guess? What else does this painting need? Did someone say a signature? That's right. let's sign our paintings. So there's lots of great places to sign in this deep, pretty blue water that we created. So after you sign your painting, I want you to hold it up and let's all see how we all did and share our work. I'm so glad you all painted with me today. As we finish up our painting, I wanted you all to sing the company song with me. Okay, I'm going to say the words. While you finish up, just repeat after me. I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. Okay, I'm going to jazz it up this time. Here we go. Can you sing with me? I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. One more time. I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. All right. Thank you all for joining me tonight or today or this morning, whatever time it is where you are. My name is Ida Mae, and I will see you next time. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.